Hello, everybody. This is Dr. David Cole. It's Sunday afternoon, January 12th. You all will be seeing this more than likely tomorrow, Monday the 13th, which is the first day of the spring term. In any case, this is the week one video message for Political Science 1013 at OPSU for the spring 2025 term. Everybody, I'm teaching 3 sections of 1013 this term, but only 2 at a time. Once we get started, I will be doing a separate message for each section as we go through the term. But we're right at the beginning of the term, so this video is going out both to those students who are taking the course over 16 weeks and those who are taking it on the 8-week schedule. Now what's happening is we're teaching one section over 16 weeks. And at the same time, we're starting an 8-week section that will run from January to March. Then once that is over, we would do a second 8-week section. So we're teaching 2 8-week sections back to back. The second one will run March to May. So I'm teaching 3 sections of this course for the spring term, but only 2 at a time. Because we're going to do 2 8-week sessions back to back. Anyway, as we go through the term, I will do a separate video for each section, but we're right at the beginning. So I want to do this one video and send it to both sections that are starting this week. Everybody, before we go any further, the difference between the 2 sections, everyone will get to take 4 exams. For the 8-week people, we go pretty quickly, so you will get an exam every 12 days or so, roughly 10 to 12 days. The 18-week section, the 16-week section, it will be about once every 3.5 weeks or so. Okay. Now we have threaded discussions. In the 8-week session, we will do 5 threaded discussions. They'll count 25 points each, and I'll count the best 4 out of 5 scores. So that'll be a 100-point grade, just like one of the exams. Okay. For the 16-week section, we will do 6 threaded discussions. They will each count 20 points, and I'll count the best 5 out of 6. So that, once again, will be a 100-point grade. So there will be 4 exams and a set of discussions for 5 100-point grades. Your grade will be figured on the basis of 500 points. You may also do a term paper. A term paper is available. It's not mandatory, but you may do a term paper if you choose. I'm going to work on a document about the term paper with some suggested topics and information about those topics. I hope to be getting that out to you in just a couple of days, by the middle of this week. It's a 100-point grade. The idea is to get you to focus on a particular piece of legislation and tell me how that legislation did or did not make its way through Congress. Okay? So if you do a term paper, it can go in place of any other grade in the course except the final exam. Everybody has to take the final. So in effect, you could drop a low grade by doing the term paper, and the term paper would take the place of that low grade. Okay? But it's not mandatory. It's optional. There'll be some extra credit opportunities. I'm going to give you 2 right off the bat. One is a introduce yourself opportunity. It consists of just telling me your life story in 25 words or less. Where you're from, what your major is, perhaps any other information you'd like to include, for 5 points. Then we're going to do a second 5-point assignment. Monday the 20th is Inauguration Day. Okay? And Donald Trump will be inaugurated for his second term, and he will give an inaugural address. So your assignment for another 5 points would be to watch the inaugural address, tell me about it in a paragraph or 2, what you think the main points were. Okay? Now, Monday the 20th is a holiday for us. We don't have class, although online classes in effect run 24/7, 365. But Inauguration Day is also Martin Luther King Day. There'll be no classes on campus. You don't have to do this assignment on Monday the 20th, because I'm sure clips of the inaugural address will be up almost immediately on YouTube and other platforms, perhaps. So I would suggest doing this pretty soon after the address. There's no fixed set due date, but you don't have to watch the address on the 20th. You could watch it the following day or later that week. Okay, so we're going to get an assignment about that out. That should be in your inbox tomorrow. So there are 4 exams and a set of discussions, plus a term paper which may take the place of any other grade except the final. There'll be some extra credit opportunities. There'll be a 15-point attendance bonus available if you take part in all the threaded discussions. Okay. Now for the discussions, you must post initially and then come back a little later and post again in response to one of your classmates. You must post at least twice for full credit. A new policy I'm going to put in this term, if you only post once, it will be a 5-point deduction at least. So the most points you could get in that case would be either 20 out of 25 or 15 out of 20, depending on which section you're in. Okay. You may post more than twice if the Spirit moves you to do so. Okay. There's no limit on how many times you can post, except you must post at least twice. One initial post, and again in response to your classmates. Okay. And there'll be a 15-point bonus if you take part in all the discussions, 5 or 6 of them, depending on which section you're in. Everybody, over the course of early tomorrow morning, I'm going to get out a series of announcements. Announcements will be coming to you regularly through the course of the term. They will be up on the course website in the announcements section. Go to the left of the course website and click on announcements, and you'll see the announcements. I'll also try to email every announcement to you. So you'll get it in your inbox and it will be up on the course website. You must watch carefully for those. That's important. Okay. I can be contacted by email through the course website. Go to the left of the site and click inbox, and you can message me that way. Or the regular OPSU email, I can be reached at david.cole@opsu.edu. Okay. So watch carefully for announcements. They will give you the assignment for the threaded discussions, for the extra credit, and for the exams. Okay? And other information you're going to need over the course of the term. Everybody, as you look at the course website, you'll see my class notes and also links to textbook chapters as they are assigned for each unit of the course. Now, you can link to the textbook chapters. You can bring that information up. You do not have to buy a hard copy of the textbook, although you may if you wish. It is available from the online bookstore. But the chapters that are on the syllabus, and I didn't put every chapter of the textbook on the syllabus, but those that are assigned, there'll be links to that material on the course website. So you do not have to buy a hard copy of the textbook. You may if you wish. Okay. Now everybody, in studying for the exams, there'll be 4 exams. Again, for you 8-week people, they'll be coming up faster than they will for the people taking it over 16 weeks. So be aware of that. But each exam in both sections will cover 2 units of the course. We have 8 units in all. We won't do a comprehensive midterm or final exam. Each exam will cover 2 units of the course. Now, as you look at my class notes are what I would use if I were teaching the course in a conventional classroom face-to-face as the basis for my lectures. So you're getting that set of class notes in place of in-class lectures. Okay. I would prefer you read both the assigned textbook chapters and the class notes. If you have to prioritize one over the other, the class notes are most important. Okay. The exams will come largely from the class notes. Furthermore, for each exam and for the discussions and the extra credit assignments, very often, in fact, all the time for the exams, you will see links to 3 or 4 articles to be accessed online. For the discussions, the extra credit assignments, it might just be 1 or 2 such things, or maybe nothing at all to be read online. Okay? Now, you should never have to pay for access to anything I assign you. I do assign articles from time to time from publications such as the Washington Post and the New York Times. To the best of my understanding, those publications permit a limited number of page views per month before you hit the paywall. If I assign you something and you try to bring it up and you hit a paywall, don't worry about paying. Contact me. I will see about getting the material to you. But you should never have to pay for anything that you're assigned in this course. But links to articles on the internet is like a huge textbook, and it helps us keep the course current with things that are going on as we go through the course. And of course, we're at a time of some upheaval in American politics. President-elect Trump, has become the second person ever to be elected to non-consecutive terms. He will be sworn in this Monday, 1 week from today, when you'll be reading this message. Most of you will be reading it on the 13th. Inauguration Day is the 20th. Okay. And he has promised to make big changes, to cut government spending, do mass deportations. He's bringing in Elon Musk to scrutinize the government and help him cut spending. No one knows exactly what will happen. A number of controversial nominations have been made, like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be a cabinet secretary. Will they be confirmed or not? We don't know. Okay, so it's a time of some upheaval and some apprehension for those opposed to Donald Trump. So I'm sure any number of highly interesting things will be going on. But for your exams, you can expect roughly 4 articles assigned to be accessed online. And once again, if you hit a paywall, contact me. I will get that information to you. The exams will be objective, combination of multiple choice and true-false. I would say on each exam you can expect 10 or 15 questions to come from those assigned readings online, and the rest to come from my class notes. Okay? And there will be 4 exams over the course of the term, each covering 2 units of the course. And also threaded discussions, a term paper if you choose to do it, extra credit opportunities as they come up over the course of the term. We're going to try to give you 2 extra credit opportunities right off the bat here. Okay. Now, before we go today, let me say a few words about Unit 1. Okay. 16-week people, we're going more slowly, so I'll try to say a bit more about Unit 1 next week. Okay. 8-week people, you're going to have an exam coming up relatively quickly by the end of the month. So I'll say a word about Unit 1 today, and I'll be talking about Unit 2 on political parties next week. Now, Unit 1 we call political participation. I begin with a discussion of the concept of democracy. So look at that closely. Then we move on to discuss different ways in which you can participate, all the way from voting to wearing a button or putting a bumper sticker on your car or a sign in your yard so you turn yourself or your property into kind of a billboard. All the way from those things to doing things like joining a pressure group, attending a public meeting, or perhaps it would get to the point someday even that you would consider running for public office. Okay, so we discuss a range of ways in which you can participate. Okay? Now, participation can be conventional or unconventional. By unconventional participation, we mean protest behavior, largely, which can turn into violence sometimes, because when people protest, feelings may be running very high. The protest will engender opposition. Okay? January 6, 2021. What the people who showed up at the Capitol were intending, well, there were a lot of people. They probably intended different things, but the thing turned into a violent, highly controversial episode in American politics, as we know. And there have been other episodes of unconventional participation throughout our history, some, but not all of which have spilled over into violence. So you can participate within the system conventionally, or if things are urgent enough, you may feel moved to take part in some form of unconventional participation. But it is voting in elections that determines who holds public office. So we'll be spending quite a bit of time on that. In and of itself, voting is a kind of a passive way of taking part. To be more effective, you should do other things besides voting. But elections do determine who holds public office. So voting and elections get quite a bit of attention. Now, there are two questions to be looked at here. One is vote choice. Okay, what is it that influences the voter to vote for Trump or Harris or the Republicans or the Democrats? Okay, as you might imagine, there's a lot of interest in that question, and there's been a fair amount of speculation about why people vote the way they do, and we will discuss that. But before they make a vote choice, people have got to decide whether or not to turn out. Okay? Some people turn out and vote, and some do not. And those who vote may not be exactly the same as those who do not. So turnout is an important question before we get to vote choice. So when we look at voting in elections, those are two questions we'll be looking at: turnout and vote choice. Okay, everybody, that will be it for today. Look for a number of messages under announcements on the course website, and they will also come to your inbox in the form of emails. Okay. Now, for the 8-week people, I'm going to schedule a discussion this week in just a couple of days, along about Wednesday or Thursday. The discussions will be open for 48 hours at a time in both sections. 16-week people, you will get a discussion more than likely next week. But either way, you will get an announcement describing the topic for the discussion and when it will take place in your inbox, along with the assignment for the exam, which will come in up at the end of the month for the 8-week people, and sometime in February, I believe, for the 16-week people. Okay, so look for one of these messages every week in your inbox. Once again, we're sending this out to both sections today. As we go through the term, we're going through it quickly in the 8-week section and a little more slowly in the 16-week section. So we will be sending out a different message to each section from your own end. All right. So study hard, take it easy. Contact me with any questions, problems, or issues through the course website or at david.cole@opsu.edu. Good luck. Have a nice day.